And well, welcome. My name is David Vaughn, and this is the Daily Geek for entrepreneurs. I am the Entrepreneur's Geek, and this is a double live streaming. We got Periscope over here. Let's get some hearts and hello from Periscope, and we got Meerkat over here. Let's get some retweets and highs and hellos from over here. How we doing today? Let me know where you are watching from. Where are you periscoping from? I am interested to know. Interested to know where you were watching from. Let's see, what do we got over here? All right. So, look there, Wiseman Girl 2's come back in. We're going to go ahead and jump right in. I've got my soda all set and ready. Are you ready? Are you ready? Ready? Today's episode is all about it's never easy. What does that mean? Well, you know what? I geek out about just about everything. And when I geek out about everything, I geek out about business. I geek out about the intricacies of business and what it is that makes this work and what's this person doing different than this person, what's working for this one, and everything of that nature. Well, the other stuff I geek out about is the fact that it's a struggle. Let's get some hearts and comments and retweets and everything if you can agree with that. If you are in business for yourself, it's a struggle. It is a struggle. Some days it just beats you down. Sometimes the days go into weeks. Sometimes we just get into a depressive state. We don't know what to do. So this week, we're going to be talking about helping get past that, helping come what has been mentioned as being highly relevant to everybody, whether you're in business for yourself or you're just in the work world or you're just a human being walking around on the planet. It's about being self-aware. It's about being aware of what's going around. It's about understanding and realizing that you are not alone with what you do in anything in life. Somebody else, somewhere, at least one other person, and we're talking about over 7 billion people, has experienced what you are going through or maybe going through it themselves. They may be at a different point. They may be at a lower point. They may have gotten through the struggle that you're at right now. But we got to start with identifying. So what we're going to identify today, and I've got the notes ready to go. This is going to be a quick session. I promise it's not going to be like it was on Friday with the inaugural show. I just, you know what, it got out of hand. I just got excited. I just wanted to talk a lot. So, it's never easy. What we're going to talk about is grief, okay? Because grief needs to be identified and it needs to be dealt with. And we'll go into why, if you don't deal with it, what it spirals into, all right? But nothing can compare. You know, let me know if this resonates with you. Nothing can compare to the glory that you get, the awesomeness, the welling up inside of accomplishment and happiness when you get past points of grief, when you make accomplishments, and when you reach goals and get past those goals. That's just a great feeling. But to get to those goals, is it ever easy? Is it always just one step in front of the other? Or is it a struggle sometimes? Or is it a struggle a lot of times? A lot of times it's a struggle. Now, sometimes we can struggle through and we've done it before and we can step right on through and we know what to do. And then sometimes we kind of start throwing our hands up in the air and it's like, what am I doing? What am I talking about? So this week, this week we're going to be focusing on a lot of that through the Daily Geek. So make sure that you're paying attention. Daily Geeks live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. London, noon Pacific, and wherever else in the world you happen to be watching from, whatever your local time equates to 3 p.m. Eastern. Hi, how are you? And thank you so much for being here. So let's get into it. So talking about nothing can compare. Nothing can compare to the grief that we experience as a struggle, as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, when we have challenges come up. But one thing that I've heard and I'd like to keep in front of me is that it's not always just It's not problems, it's possibilities. And that's one thing that we need to keep in mind. That's one thing that I keep in mind all the time when I come up with something that seems to be a problem. There's just possibilities of ways to get around this problem. So it's not problems, it's possibilities. A little bit of self reassurance to yourself, a little bit of, patting yourself, psyching yourself out. Is that a green screen? It is a green screen. It is a green screen. Thank you very much for being here. And I'll give a little tour towards the end. How about that? So the second thing, once the grief we experience, and then the second thing that comes about is the groan that comes about. And I'm not talking about a physical, audible, sometimes that is the groan that we hear. But there are groans that we all experience that we all experience as we go through everything that we do. And the groans come about from various different angles. It's the groan of the business as it grows. It's the groan as you gain new customers. It's the groan as you discover you want to deliver. You've got a new product, service, something that you want to deliver that you know is going to change lives. And you're at that beginning stage of what is it that we've got going on. That's the groan that we can endure with that. And you need to understand those groans that come about, because sometimes those groans don't come from you. Sometimes those groans originate, and a lot of times actually, the groans originate from something around it. But it can be distracting, it can be debilitating, it can be defeating if we let it happen to us. That's not something that we have. But that third step is the glory that we expect. That's what I was talking about. That that welling up inside of, man, I just, it feels great once you get to the point that you're past the grief, you're past the groan, and you're in the final stages, that final stretch, and you're delivering on that goal. You're getting past that goal so that you can get on to the next step, maybe the next larger goal, or the next step in life, wherever it is, that glory. So there's always going to be 3 steps. There's always going to be 3 that you can experience. There's going to be the grief that you experience, the groan that you endure, and the glory that you can expect. And you can expect that glory. You can expect that glory. Our hearts, though, here's the thing. Most of the time, we pull the wool over our eyes. Most of the time, we lie to ourselves. Most of the time, we sit there and we go into a world, and I don't want to talk too much about it, of denial, okay? Because that's a step that happens when we don't acknowledge, when we're not aware of what's going on. And what we need to understand is that, you know what, our hearts are going to be broken. We're going to experience the hardships. We're going to cry our eyes out at some time. The topic is, it isn't easy. That's the topic that we're talking about. The topic about, as an entrepreneur, as a small business owner, things that we geek out about. So I'm trying to go through this week a little bit of the stuff about it. It isn't easy. Some of the stuff, we sit. One of the things that I really, social, because since social networking, Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus and LinkedIn and all these other things have come about, and YouTube and all these other things, since they've come about, we have such a wider view into other people's successes. And that a lot of times can be the beginning of our defeat. That a lot of times can be the beginning of our denial. That a lot of times can be what it is that makes it to where we start living in a fantasy land. Because we just, we see the success, but we don't see the work that went into that success. We don't see the hours or the weeks or the months or the years even that sometimes people experience. I equate it to like a duck on water. We always look at a duck on water and it's just moving as gracefully as it can. But the real work is underneath. The real work is the feet just a paddling away, getting that duck going where he's going. And so we need to understand, you need to come to terms with the fact that your hearts are going to be broken. You're going to experience where you cry your eyes out. You're going to experience hardships. You're going to experience setbacks. You're going to experience failures. But you're not alone. You're not the only person that's ever gotten to that point. You're not the only person that's ever going to experience it. It's not going to end with you. It didn't begin with you. Everybody experiences it. And you need to be okay with the fact that that's just part of the process. That's part of the growth. The biggest growth comes from failure, not success. Because we learn along the ways of failure what not to do the next time. The definition of insanity is repeating the same step over and over and over again, but expecting a different outcome. That's the definition of insanity. That's the definition of insanity. Okay, so all of us are going to have sufferings. We need to be aware of it. None of us like the suffering. Nobody likes suffering. Nobody does. And this is one of the things, and I really don't want to get much into this because we're coming up on the time limit that I've set for this episode today. But people use the word passion so much that I wonder if they really know what passion comes from, the language that it's derived from. And passion is from the Latin word patori, I think is how you say it, which means to suffer and endure. Okay, so a lot of times when I hear say that it's my passion or this is what I'm passionate about, or a lot of times when they're saying it, they don't understand. They think that it equates to only happiness or it only equates to a certain lifestyle, and it doesn't. It's not. Okay, but none of us are liking the suffering, but we often try to find an escape from the suffering. And what you need to come to terms with there is that a lot of times you're not going to escape the suffering. You're not going to be able to get around it. You need to get through it. You need to push through it. You need to find a friend or a group and reach out and let them know where you're at and what's going on and ask for help. Don't think you have to go it alone. Grief is the gateway to that glory that you're going to experience as you get through and as you begin to deliver the product, as you begin to finalize that step, as you begin to finalize that goal. So equate glory to the goal or the step or whatever, but understand that you will get there as you get through it. Now I'm going to stop and ask if there are any questions out there for anybody. Please, absolutely, chime in. If you have any questions about what I did. Somebody said that they wanted a tour. I will give a tour. I'm not going to give it today. And the reason I'm not going to give it today is that I was tearing the office apart, looking for a couple of things. And so the office is now a mess. And so, no, I don't want you to see the office as in the disarray mess that it is. It's always in a mess, but it's in a there's cables and cords and all sorts of stuff. Oh, my. And it's all around here. So anyway, my name's David Vaughn. I am the Entrepreneur's Geek. If you are not following me and if you enjoyed this, please do follow me. You can click on the little guy on Periscope right there. If you are watching from Meerkat, then you can click on my name and you can click the follow right there. Share this with people that you think may enjoy it. The replay is going to be up for just a little while, and then I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to sit there and put it on its own little background, and I'm going to put it up on YouTube so that everybody can enjoy. But my name's David Vaughn. I appreciate everyone being here. Thank you very much for attending, and that's all I've got. So if nobody's got anything else, then I will let you go. Thank you very much for showing up. My name's David.